Hey everybody, welcome back to the Open Source Office. Once again, this is Tex. We're back with another project spotlight today with GameChanger Finance. I've got a couple of interesting people, or rather a few interesting people for us to say hello to today. And Quasar, I guess we'll go ahead and start with you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Tex. It's Quasar here to talk to you about GameChanger Finance and Dandelion and Cardano and open source stuff. With me, I'm happy to say we have Adriano here, the creator of GameChanger, and the master in disguise, Martin Minier, into tech, building hardware, and many other things. So I'll pass it back to you, Tex, for some questions, because these guys will just take the mic and run with it forever.
Fair enough. Well, whoever wants the mic, y'all can kind of just pop up for it here. But let's start some more with, I guess, just some details on GameChanger Finance. So what is the mission? What's the value here of GameChanger Finance, and how do you all contribute to the overall growth and functionality in the Cardano ecosystem?
Okay, maybe something. So yeah, I'm Adriano, the founder. Thank guys for joining. Martin and Quasar, great collaborators of the project. And well, we strongly believe that GameChanger wallet, especially, I mean, the main product of the ecosystem we are building, is a wallet designed for especially for Cardano, for the UTXO model, that ultimately can collaborate a lot to the ecosystem, because it's built on very deep and profound Web3 values. The way the wallet works empowers the end user, and while doing so, allows builders to build more easily, to get more easily onboarded on building on Cardano. And we reduce the level of dependencies drastically, at least for the first, I would say, I don't know, maybe 60–70% of the typical tasks that one can do or one can build, I mean, on Cardano. So yeah, basically, if I can say something about the project, is that we can collaborate on all those terrains, not only on the end user, but also for developers and students.
Roger that. So if we dig a little bit deeper, is there a specific problem or solution that GameChanger Finance provides here for developers and users? I guess more so, what's going to really make GameChanger come to the main stage here alongside, Vesper, Yoroi, and some of these other wallets?
Well, I always like to go a bit to the past. So GameChanger was built concurrently at the same time that NAMI was built back in 2021. Back then, there was no DApp connector standard, so we had no clue on how to connect with the DApps. So the NAMI model and the GameChanger model are two very different approaches on how to connect to the world. So what we have to offer, because all the other wallets follow the CIP 30 standard, which was introduced practically by NAMI, but GameChanger follows a different standard that leverages on a programming language, a scripting language. So if you want to connect to the wallet, you just need to know a programming language that we offer, a DSL, domain-specific language, that is based on JSON. A data format that is available everywhere. And the other tool you need to use to connect is URLs or QR codes. So here's where, for example, Martin comes in, because he, with M2Tech, his brand, has built probably the very first hardware DApps available on Cardano. These are not just software leveraging on URLs and QR codes, but also hardware device that connects to Cardano through this DApp connector alternative. So this is what we have to offer. We have to offer a way to really put Cardano out there, and in a way that empowers users and builders as well. I can develop further the reasons, but basically this is the main thing we can offer.
Yeah, I met Adriano in Fund 3 of Catalyst, and we've been on this journey ever since. Because I'm an industrial designer, I work on creating payment systems, and yeah, I really liked his protocol back then, and I still do, because there's much functionality in there. Because you, yeah, if you want to do a SIP30 transaction, you need to know all about the UTXO in a wallet, which I, as an application developer, really don't need to do that or want to do that. I just want to state my intent. Like, I want to send this much value to a certain wallet, and that's where GameChanger is totally different, because the UTXO management is not at the application side, so me as a builder side, but it is handled inside the wallet. So GameChanger will decide, oh, I need to send this value or NFTs, and I will take this UTXOs for that and make this result. Meanwhile, like, UTXO management is quite complicated sometimes. It can become so. So the wallet is the best place to keep this very technical part inside the wallet. So where it basically it's the same kind of machinery, which all the application builders are now replicating, and maybe sometimes good, sometimes bad. So it is better for an expert like the wallet developer to fine tune it, so your wallet health. So you need a certain amount of UTXOs to make it really run well, that the wallet can do that. So for me, that is the most important part. It makes my life easier, and your wallet is healthier.
Absolutely. So looking back to the core tech stack, if we take it from that perspective, I mean, what are the components that you all are relying on? What are the dependencies that this wallet checks back on in terms of, whether that's smart contracts or just tokenomics? What are you guys relying upon when to make the wallet make these decisions, if you will?
Well, that's a good question. That also helps us explain the differences between the wallets. What Martin explained has to do with a very technical reason. That is that this wallet is not just a transaction signer wallet. It's the only wallet on the ecosystem that builds the transactions actually wallet side. And this means everything. I mean, regarding differences. This means that this wallet is not just a signer wallet that maybe needs a backend and a nice UI and some indexers, the basics. But we are talking here that this wallet is actually an entire Cardano library, Cardano SDK or serialization library, plus everything wallet related. So it's a big bundle that even has a programming interface built in, so developers don't need to install anything to start building on Cardano. They just have to open the wallet. So, good question about the dependencies. There are many dependencies of this wallet, but basically regarding, for example, backend technology, we leveraged since the very first beginning on a project called Dandelion APIs, which is born from Gimbalax by Roberto Monano, the creator. And this project is a set of Cardano community unofficial APIs provided for the community in a way that everybody can deploy their own nodes. This is important. With Martin, we made a big effort recently to collaborate back to this project, creating a light version of this. Because we really care on, as I told you, on Web3 values, on decentralization. So ultimately, what we are pushing hard is to allow people to deploy their own backend technology to connect to the wallet, to decentralize the backend as much as possible. So we're talking about Oatmeals, DVSync, Koios. We are talking about Cardano GraphQL currently. That we are looking for some more optimizations there towards the future, but basically those are the dependencies. Then we have a built-in compiler of EDOs, smart contracts. Once again, we leverage on a DSL, meaning, I mean, if I can explain this, it's like the solidity for Cardano, not regarding the determinism, the not determinism side of it, but regarding the universal language. So yes, we also bundle EDOs, and yes, there are other minor dependencies as well.
Right. So as we get into the deeper technology piece here, what does this mean in terms of security? So how are y'all ensuring data reliability, integrity, and then this also brings into account what you mentioned about hardware. So hardware versus things that you're going to keep off chain versus things you're going to be keep on chain, and the security between that as well.
Okay, here there are a lot of things to say. We'll try to be quick. So first, GameChanger maybe is the only wallet that supports all type of wallets on the ecosystem, even our, if I can say, competitors, even browser extension wallets. So if you don't want to trust on our software, you want to even use your browser extension wallet as if it were like a hardware wallet for you to sign transactions and messages, you can still do it. We are fully committed to empower the user, even if that means bypassing our own, tech. So that's one of the things regarding security. Also, it's a multi-sig wallet, meaning that you can have all the security of combining, imagine a hardware device, a ledger, a trezor device, with, I don't know, Eternal maybe, or NAMI, with a QR code password encrypted wallet, which we have 2 flavors of those. I mean, it's up to you. You have all the means here to increase the security, because this wallet is a web app, right? It's a web wallet, light wallet, not non-custodial, but we still have means to increase the security there. I mean, there are a lot of topics to discuss. Another topic is GCFS, which allows developers to, one step backward. GCFS is a file system on chain. We have a file system on chain to put entire files on chain. And this makes a lot of sense, because you can, as a developer, you can store your code, the DApp, the code that interfaces with the wallet, you can store it on chain. But by doing that, you are doing it with your own cryptography, like minting an NFT. So there is another layer of security here applied, where ultimately users and developers can not only audit and fork the code that runs on wallets from DApps, I mean, coming from the DApp, but also, if this code is stored on chain, you can audit it and you can double check the origin. Who are the maintainers? Because everything is cryptographically signed and protected by the ledger. There are other things, but maybe these are the most important. I don't know, guys, if I'm missing something.
No, that's perfect to get us started. We'll definitely take some other opinions as we go on, but you mentioned storing things on chain. Is that like the primary use case? Are there any, let's say, scalability potential issues that are out there right now, or what does the plan look like? And maybe what are even some of the performance benchmarks that you all might have here as to how it is scalable in the near future and the far future?
Okay, the guys here knows that I'm obsessed with this the boundary between on-chain and off-chain. This defined the work since 2021. I understood the model of Cardano that was, okay, we are not going to do Ethereum again. We are going to put a lot of things off-chain to keep it performant, to scale, to make it cheaper. That's awesome. That's great. But on our view, because I guess we all on this team share the same philosophy, we think Cardano has put way too much things off-chain, creating a lot of issues that maybe we are not fully understanding, but they're there every day. and they are blocking our way to just expand ourselves vitally, like on EVMs. So there are some things missing, and one of the things we developed here to overcome that situation is GCFS, is this on-chain file system. Of course, it won't scale because, I mean, Cardano is not Filecoin. We understand that, but we believe in the power of an L1 protected data stored, on the ledger. If you store data on the same place you are transacting on a layer 1, that has a very strong security, that has a very strong trust behind whatever you're storing there. So we decided that, okay, we will optimize this file system. We will do our best to keep things small and cheap as possible. That is important. If we put a bit of code back into the chain, code that it's not going to be executed on chain, on the nodes, on the Cardano nodes, but it's going to be executed decentralized or distributed, if I can explain it better, on user wallets on client side. So we are creating open protocols like a on-chain GitHub, an on-chain repository of pieces of code that everybody can reuse. We are putting this openly on-chain with cryptography to protect it. And yes, this is not going to scale as if it were like Filecoin, for example, but it's important to have it. So we will battle this until the end to optimize it and to make it work, because we strongly believe this is a very nice way to go.
Yeah,
One last thing to mention. Sorry, last thing to mention. It's not trivial that this language is a JSON-based language, which can be even integrated on hardware. For example, Martin used Python to integrate this. On the wallet itself, I'm using TypeScript. Everybody can embed this universal language on any language. We are not, forcing you to use, I don't know, an SDK on TypeScript or on Rust or on Go just to work with us. No, this is universal. And imagine now if you put these universal pieces of code on chain for everybody to reuse, what potential can this have for the entire Cardano community, where the work of somebody can be reused without caring what language you are using from your platform to actually integrate Cardano. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
I already made several dApps using GameChanger, and what I really like about it is that it's easy to copy. So you can just go into your browser and look at the files it has downloaded, and that will allow you to make the same dApp or make your own version of it. And I think that is very important. Like most dApps on Cardano now are very hard to learn from, because you don't know what is going on in the back end. And that is not happening on GameChanger. GameChanger is running in your browser. It is not running the code you are making on the server of GameChanger. It is staying in your browser. So it's only downloading software from GameChanger website and using it in your browser. So it's all local. And it's using servers to get data, but these are generic using Dandelion. So you could even use your own backends. So even that could be local. And the code you are running, or the code you are even able to read, is not compiled. You can just also copy and run. So it is basically happening all in your home. It is not going someplace else where people may interpret your data, look at what is going on in your UTXOs. Nobody really knows what is happening. You are just communicating only with the blockchain. So I think that is very important.
Wonderful. So from that perspective, right, or if we grow from that, is there a specified target audience for this, such as those that want more hardware solutions, or is this still open-ended where we want, kind of anybody and everybody to use this according to what's going to meet their benefit? And sorry to compound it, but are we focused on those who want to create DApps or SDKs, or continue to keep it with, multifunction under the multi-sig? So do some more on that, if you will.
I think there's no limit what you can do with GameChanger. GameChanger does everything the other PABs do. So you can make any DApp, and I think actually GameChanger is like a rapid development environment without being overly complicated. So yeah, I think it will actually make your life much easier if you use GameChanger. And we have several people who are building on it now. And I think generally the feedback is very positive. So you can move faster with using GameChanger. So yeah, I would just recommend everybody to use it. But yeah, I'm a fan.
So just, a recap from this. GameChanger, it's even a multi-sig wallet. You can build with it, but also, for example, there is it's a bit based on RPG games. Every asset on your wallet is going to be a colored card. So it also helps to onboard people. Quasar loves to use the onboarding features. He's all the time sharing, for example, gift wallets, or showing how to just, with a few clicks, get a wallet on Cardano without spending too much time on the setup. So it's a big wallet for a lot of audiences. Even it's used right now on hackathons on Asia. So you can do pretty much a lot with the wallet.
All right.
In there, Tex, if I could. The focus is Cardano and decentralization, and getting and promoting blockchain and making solutions to bring the network together. That's why we're trying to connect everything and making it simple or easier for the end user to move freely, use things freely, and also understand what's going on, and be able to onboard more people. It's an onboarding wallet, it's an education wallet, it's a powerful governance tooling wallet with the multi-sig, multi-pool delegation. Like, sure, there's a lot of things that are GameChanger focuses on, including GSFS, but it's really straight up making the absolute best use case of the extended UTXO model and maximizing what's there, because we don't know exactly what all Cardano can do. We've been stuck in SIP 30, and GameChanger, while a lot of people think it's a wallet, it really is not. It's more of a command center to build and to learn. So it's an extreme degen simulator that can go live as well.
Roger that. So we've learned quite a bit now about GameChanger and how it acts as a wallet here in the technical background. And so I'm curious, aside from core dependencies and core components, have you all provided support for any other open source projects here? And if we combine that a little bit, are there any case studies that you all have done, or maybe even success stories of where GameChanger Finance has been able to improve usability, scalability of another tool, or just an overall increase in DApps that are actually helpful or being used?
Okay, we can mention a few cases. For example, recently, Anastasia Labs used GameChanger to not only solve like a wallet implementation of smart handles that they developed. They not only use it for integrating one more wallet, but also was used to show as a reference on how you can actually do this on your own, being a wallet or a DApp. because once again, we leverage on this DSL, this programming language. So the solution was there. There are, there are a lot of small use cases that we solved across all these years. One funny one maybe is for example, the registration on for the Builderfest. It's very common that Builderfest requires the attendees to solve a challenge, but that basically is building a transaction. And basically with GameChanger, you can do it in maybe the code in minutes, and if you just fork the code, you can just do it in, I don't know, maybe less than a minute, and you run your registration, even now with direct delegation. The guys, right now I don't have a lot of things of cases in mind. I know, for example, at the moment is working with an integration. So scientists also with his data. There are more adoption coming now that we have documentation and we are improving our backend infrastructure. So yeah, it takes time. I'm this solo developer behind the wallet. The guys here are my strongest collaborators. All these years, without them, wouldn't have been the same. But yeah, it's a small team. We don't have much funding sometimes, so we grow at the rate we can.
Right. Now funding obviously is a hot topic in the environment, rather in the ecosystem here, but funding or no funding, there's still, I imagine, plans or at least some type of roadmap for development. And so, as we keep in mind those open source ideals, what's out there on the roadmap for GameChanger?
Okay, if the community allows us, we will keep open sourcing the product until the end. It's on our our dream roadmap is to open source the tech fully. This started. 2 big pieces of the wallet has been open sourced already, thanks to Catalyst. Thank you, voters. Thank you, Catalyst. And yeah, if we keep having support from the community, we will keep rebundling what we have, making it easier for our devs to use it, and open sourcing it. The next thing that we tried, we did not have much luck, was GCFS. We wanted to open source GCFS, the file system. So maybe next month. This is the biggest, goal on our roadmap is to fully open source it all. On the other hand, there are more backend improvements this year on the to-do list. And there are other minor things, but those are the biggest, for sure.
Gotcha. A big thing that you mentioned there, or a big piece of sentiment, is going to be this community support piece. And so how is GameChanger currently engaging with and looking to, or I guess not looking to, right? We know how we're looking to support the community, but how are you currently supporting the community other than offering the wallet? And how are you all engaging with the community to hopefully drive that adoption, right? To find some additional funding and things.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't be talking this one. Maybe the guys can talk more. We are doing our best to get involved more and more with the community. We are helping builders to build. We are helping users to get onboarded on Cardano. We are trying to travel more as far as we can. It's not cheap, of course. But for example, this last year, we went 3 times to Buenos Aires and Argentina. The last time the guys were able to come. And we ran 2 workshops. 1 workshop and 1 full day course for builders. We have a Discord server. We onboard a lot of developers and users there all the time. We are having live coding sessions every week, and a governance call for Dandelion Light to help deploy these Cardano APIs also. So we are doing our best. Quasar and Martin are doing an impressive work with this educational project, an educational course on GameChanger, thanks to Catalyst as well. So I will let the guys to talk more about it. But yeah, we are doing our best.
Yeah, we were at this weekend. I was helping Ada Moments building their website using Unimatrix actually to communicate transactions information back to the developers, which GameChanger can provide. This is something like very similar to Roundtable, but I made actually a tutorial or educational material on wisdom.courses and on the Andamio platform. These are both Cardano-centric education platforms, and Andamio is actually releasing on mainnet very shortly. Andamio is very interesting then in that it's surrounding user credentials and a smart contract managing that. So we have an instance where we can make this educational content available, and users can answer questions at the end of doing the course, and then they can get credentials. So they can get credentials on-chain on finishing the Cardano course or the GameChanger course, or you have other courses as well. But using that credential, you could build your knowledge or your reputation on-chain, which I think is interesting. So we try to use all the Cardano technologies we find interesting, and we are also there where it's being built. So we're trying to promote it and build on all those platforms.
Well, very good. And I had a last question here. I think, though, I can probably answer it under assumption here. It's regarding documentation and resources. And previously, you all mentioned how the dApps are pretty easy to kind of copy and just modify as need be. I believe there was the same sentiment there around the SDKs. And you guys had mentioned as well that you're looking to keep this open source for as long as possible there. So I would say definitely make sure, or we'll make sure that we have all of the accordant links here, at least for maybe some of the necessary frontline documentation out here for everyone to view, or at least a link to a main space where you can find it all. But I'll leave this open here, maybe 1 to 2 minutes for final thoughts from each of you if you choose, and then we'll close it out.
Guys, you want to say something first?
All right, so I'm going to jump right in. There's so much built inside of GameChanger that's already educational. If you actually take your time and go through it, you'll see how Cardano, what's actually going on behind the scenes during a transaction. The different scripts, the different encryption, the code. There's multiple ways to view it, so you can get a 3D or 4D examination of a contract and how it's composed, what you're actually doing, executing code, where the code is. Because GameChanger has a DSL, it's got a domain-specific language, and it's really a wallet-specific language, and the fact that it's within the wallet, it's easy to build things with it. And the code itself, the GC script, it supports other smart contracts that are hosted properly in an open source manner without the need of a backend server. So like the Helios time lock smart contract, we've got that within the dApp. John mentioned the Anastasia Labs. So if you're looking to build open source, hit GameChanger. That's a great place to test your code, integrate your code, get ideas for what you're building, and also see how you can contribute back to GameChanger. A cool feature that I like to do is, using my other wallets. I love Vesper, I love Eternal, I love them all, and connecting them to GameChanger and using the NFT minting functions in GameChanger with those wallets. So there's a lot of support there that you may not have known that you could use Vesper to mint NFTs or to do, create a multi-sig, not just sign. There's so much in there. It's really amazing. I think that's pretty much the stuff that I wanted to get out there. There's a lot of support. It'd be great to show the documentation, the code. There are literally examples that you can go and play with, and you know, the testnet environment is a perfect place to make innovation comfortable, you know, and try and experiment.
What I'm very excited about is query services. There's a lot to improve there. I like optimization and improving something, making it easier to use and faster. So yeah, I'm very interested in. That's why we have Dandelion, to make this a place for experimentation. Every Friday, 1400 UTC, we have a space on our Discord where we discuss project implementation. And also, yeah, we have some funding also from Catalyst. So we're going to promote people to run their own query services. So really decentralizing every piece of the Cardano ecosystem is what I think is very interesting, and where I'm most excited about at the moment.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Okay, last, I will say, okay, I mean, GameChanger can be a lot. You can, maybe it was the first, for example, multi-sig wallet with the app connector for the ecosystem. We have been providing tech sometimes very ahead of the time. You have a lot of features for builders, for onboarding users and users with our gift wallets, with our burner wallets. We have a lot to offer. But if I can say 2 or 3 words on how to describe GameChanger and why it matters, GameChanger is Web3. GameChanger is going back to the cypherpunk era, to remember why we are here in the first place, to remember why it's important to control the code that is running the app. I mean, to know where it's running. Okay, it's running on our browsers, in front of our noses, not on a silo on a backend. Okay, it's running on my wallet. I can fork it. I can understand the code. I can check the code. I can, you know, I have the power. That's GameChanger. That's what we offer since 2021 to this ecosystem. We will keep fighting with or without funds. We care. We need the funds, but we will be here. Our goal is to decentralize and to fight this fight, Web3, for real, on our hands. Yeah, basically that. So you're all welcome, and we need a lot of help. So everything you can do to help us will be great. Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll make sure that we get this out to the community and grab any of those questions here. I'm definitely very appreciative of the level of detail that you guys were able to go into here. And as always, you guys can leave questions in the comments, or if you want to get some direct feedback, you can join us this Thursday. That's going to be just in a few short days. I believe that's going to be 7 p.m. UTC at our open source office hours, and we will feature GameChanger Finance live, as well as another library tool, AdaStack.io. There we go. Just trying to grab the name there. But no, thank you, gentlemen, so much here for today. Of course, leave us a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Stay up to date with the latest news that we got going on here. Thanks for sticking around for a long session, and we'll catch you next time.
Dex, before you end it, can I say one more thing that I think is most important?
Sure.
All right. It's no longer hard to build on Cardano at all. And that's the narrative across the crypto space. And GameChanger has changed that forever. It is no longer hard to build on Cardano. Anyone can learn to be a builder on Cardano in a couple of clicks. I'm on the GameChanger Finance website. Check this out. I'm going to go to testnet. One click. 2 clicks. There we go. That's all it takes to start building. There's tons of examples there. Change the narrative, change the norm. Go get building.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing there, Kip. All righty, guys.